After my recent trip to Singapore, I cannot forget this pork belly dish cooked by one of my dear friends at the Weber Grill Academy. It was a Cantonese style crackled pork belly with that sandpaper crackle. It is quite a labour of love achieving that style crackle, so I'm going to share with you a really easy way to achieve perfect crackle but with all those beautiful Cantonese flavours. We're also going to serve this dish with some soy and sesame grilled greens and a chili spice infused caramel. It's going to be perfect with this fatty pork belly. So the first thing that we need to do is preheat our Weber Genesis. It's important to have the barbecue really hot so our pork belly crackles straight away. To set it up for indirect cooking, what we need to do is light all the main burners on high, but then turn the center burner down to medium and preheat for 10 minutes. So my number one tip to getting that beautiful pork crackle starts with the piece of pork. It's really important to start with a good quality piece, probably from your butcher because the skin will be nice and dry. If you're buying pork that's been cryovac or vacuum sealed in plastic, it's going to be a lot harder to crackle. You'll probably need to air dry it out in your fridge. So this is beautifully dry. This is going to crackle up really well. The next thing we want to do is score our pork. So I like using a blade just like this that I can set, and then I'm going to score it at 1 centimetre intervals. So I like to use a blade that I can set to about 3 millimetres deep. This way I can cut straight through that skin into the fat, but not too deep that it goes into the flesh. We just want to go through to that fat, and that is going to be the perfect depth. So the goal of scoring your pork is that fat underneath the skin actually boils and bubbles. So by scoring, it allows that fat to escape, so those bubbles set really hard and form that beautiful crackle. Now that I've vertically scored my pork in those 1 centimetre intervals, I'm actually just going to horizontally score in the size that I want to cut my portions. This makes it really easy to slice through so that every piece has a beautiful piece of crackle. So to get those wonderful Cantonese flavours, we are creating a spice paste for the flesh side of our pork. So first we're starting with some Chinese 5 spice. Into that we can pour in some ginger, pinch of salt because we want to season the meat everywhere possible. And then we're just going to go in with some oil. Lovely. I'll give this a quick little stir and then we can smother it over the pork. Perfect, so we've got that wonderful spice paste all over. So I'm just going to flip it over and then we can go in with some oil and salt flakes. Lovely, so just a small amount of oil, just enough for that salt to stick. And then we can be quite generous with the amount of salt because it will help to make those fats render. You can massage that in. Another great tip when you're cooking pork belly is to change the shape of it. So if I put this on the barbecue right now, what will happen is the pork belly will shrink up on the sides, creating a pool in the center of the meat. That skin will not crackle. So by using a sheet of foil, we can lay that under the pork so all those fats will drip straight out of the pork. Our barbecue is preheated, so our pork belly is ready to go on. After preheating, we can turn the center burner off. This will create an indirect zone to place our pork in the middle. We'll leave the barbecue at this indirect high roasting temperature to crackle that skin. Our pork is going to cook for 60 minutes. In the first 20 minutes is the crucial crackling stage at indirect high heat. So it's really important to not sneak a peek at this stage. After 20 minutes, you can turn the barbecue down to the normal roasting setting to finish cooking through. The Weber Genesis is a pork crackling machine because it can hold those high temperatures really consistent, which is perfect for that crackle. While our pork is cooking, I'd love to share with you an incredibly delicious chili spice infused caramel. It's sweet, it's sticky, it's got warming spices, chili heat, and is so perfect with fatty, salty, delicious pork. So into our Weberware saucepan, we can add in 2 star anise pods, 2 bay leaves, a cinnamon stick, fresh ginger that has been sliced, chili flakes for that heat. Now we've got some palm sugar. Don't be scared by the amount. We need it to form that beautiful caramel. Next, soy sauce for saltiness, fish sauce, lime juice, and some water. Now we can just simmer this on the side burner for 5 minutes or until it's nice and syrupy. Oh, look at that. Perfect, sticky, syrupy, delicious. Our pork's been on for 60 minutes. My mouth is watering. I'm keen to check on it. Let's see if it's ready. Oh, perfect, look at that. Now we can take our pork off the barbecue and leave it to rest for 15 minutes. While our pork is resting, we're going to set up the barbecue with the Weber crafted grilling basket for our veggies. First, put on some heat-proof gloves. Then you can remove the right-hand side of the cooking grill. Next, you can put the Weber crafted insert into position. And now we can go on with our grilling basket. Add that spacer piece. And then all that's left to do is turn all of our burners back to high heat, leave them to preheat for about 5 minutes so that basket gets really hot. I love grilled vegetables on the barbecue. To make it really simple, try and choose vegetables that cook at the same level of heat and cook for a similar amount of time. So today I've chosen bok choy, beautiful, some broccolini, and then some snow peas, my favorite. Now you could swap any of these out with zucchini or perhaps even asparagus. Go for what's in season. Vegetables just with olive oil, salt and pepper are incredible on the barbecue with those beautiful smoky barbecued flavors. But today I'm going Asian inspired, so we're swapping out the olive oil for some toasted sesame oil. So this will leave a really nutty, delicious, deep flavor. And then instead of salt, I'm going for soy sauce. So we'll have that saltiness, but also some umami. Now we can give these a quick toss and then it's ready for the barbecue. We'll leave those veggies to cook for about 4 to 5 minutes over very high heat, only turning once or twice. Keep it nice and hot. We want that nice char. We don't want it to cook it too low, otherwise they'll steam and go soggy. Wow, look at these vegetables. Perfectly cooked, just how I like them, al dente, with a nice amount of color. This looks incredible. I'm so excited. We've got our perfectly crackled Cantonese style pork. We've got our chili-infused spiced caramel. I've got some steamed rice on the barbecue because I need it to be a full meal. And then we've got our perfectly grilled greens, and I'm just going to finish them off with some sesame seeds. It's showtime. We are ready to slice into our pork. Have a look at how juicy this is. Yum. All I'm gonna do now is just plate it up and then spoon over our spiced caramel sauce. I know it's gonna taste so amazing and take me straight back to Singapore. Look at this. Who would have thought a midweek meal could look this stunning yet be so simple?